Is the Trump administration compromised? We're talking all things this week's news of Jeffrey Epstein. Okay, so I talked previously in my Israel episode is the Trump administration compromised? I talked about Pam Bondi and Kash Patel. Well, this is kind of a second part to that. So if you missed the first part, I will link below to that Rumble video. Anyway, so pre-election, Trump, as well as his son Trump Jr., J.D. Vance, Kash Patel, and Pam Bondi all put out this facade saying that day one we're going to release the Black Book. Day one. They acted like they were going to be real tough on Epstein. They acted like they were going to arrest these pieces of shit. They acted like they would investigate, arrest these people, and then put this information out there and make it public so that we could see what's been going on and declassify all this information.
Crimes, but no one on Epstein's list has even been brought to light. I'm trying to figure out how that's possible, right?
Would you declassify the Epstein files?
Yeah. Seriously, we need to release the Epstein list.
Will you work with me on this issue so we know who worked with Jeffrey Epstein in building these sex trafficking rings?
Absolutely, Senator. Child sex trafficking has no place in the United States of America.
There's a right to know. Americans have a right to know.
I know the Attorney General has committed to releasing those files. When she's made a promise in the past, she has kept it, and I'm certain that she will in this case.
I saw your appearance at CPAC with Ben and with Ted Cruz, and one of the things that you alluded to, and this is something Donald Trump has talked about, the DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
Well, that brings us to today and this past week. The FBI and the DOJ, this is Trump-appointed FBI and DOJ, issued a joint statement. Read that if you'd like. But the three major points, point number one is no incriminating client list. Now, that is an absolute lie. We know for a fact that Ghislaine Maxwell had a client list. So we can pretty safely assume Epstein did too. Maxwell had a black book. In fact, they call it a client list, but frankly, I don't give a damn who Epstein's clients were. We all know he was working for Israel. But what I want to see is the flight logs. Who got on Epstein's plane to go to Epstein Island? That's what I want. I don't want the flight log. I don't want the client list. I want the flight logs. Part two. This is the investigation is over. The investigation has concluded. What we have now is what we will get. There will be no further disclosure, and they said it's not warranted. Well, let me tell you, I think it is warranted. I want to see the names, like I just said, on that flight list. Who got on that plane with Epstein to go to the island to do nefarious stuff with children? That's just one of the many things involving Epstein that I'd want to see. What I also want to see is, we'll get to a little bit later with the footage. However, the third thing, they claimed he committed suicide. Now, we all know that's a damn lie. I don't know how stupid some of the people in our government are that think that we're going to buy that. We are not going to buy that as an American public and an American people. So, we now have the Trump administration. They are not being transparent. They are not releasing the info. They are not doing ultimately what they said they were going to do. They said they were going to do these things, and now they are not. In fact, Trump got defensive when he was being asked questions in regards to Epstein. Take a listen.
And released yesterday on Jeffrey Epstein, it left some lingering mysteries. One of the biggest ones is whether he ever worked for a American or foreign intelligence agency. The former Labor Secretary, who was Miami U.S. Attorney Alex Acosta, he allegedly said that he did work for an intelligence agency. So could you resolve whether or not he did? And also, could you say why there was a minute missing from the jailhouse tape on the night of the stabbing?
Yeah, sure. If
Pam, could I just interrupt for 1 second? Are you still talking about Jeffrey Epstein? This guy's been talked about for years. You're asking, we have Texas, we have this, we have all of the things. And are people still talking about this guy, this creep? That is unbelievable. Do you want to waste the time, and do you feel like answering?
I don't mind answering.
I mean, I can't believe you're asking a question on Epstein at a time like this, where we're having some of the greatest success and also tragedy with what happened in Texas. It just seems like a desecration, but you go ahead.
Sure. First, to back up on that, in February, I did an interview on Fox, and it's been getting a lot of attention because I said, I was asked a question about the client list, and my response was, it's sitting on my desk to be reviewed, meaning the file along with the JFK, MLK files as well. That's what I meant by that. Also, to the tens of thousands of video, they turned out to be child porn downloaded by that disgusting Jeffrey Epstein. Child porn is what they were. Never going to be released, never going to see the light of day. To him being an agent, I have no knowledge about that. We can get back to you on that. And the minute missing from the video, we released the video showing definitively the video was not conclusive, but the evidence prior to it was showing he committed suicide. And what was on that, there was a minute that was off the counter. And what we learned from Bureau of Prisons was every night, they redo that video. It's old, from like 1999. So every night the video is reset, and every night should have the same minute missing. So we're looking for that video to release that as well, showing that a minute is missing every night. And that's it on Epstein.
He didn't say it, but his attitude sure did show it. He was like, how dare you ask about Epstein? Okay. Epstein is, in my opinion, my number one issue. Okay, it goes beyond politics. I want these people locked up. I want these people paying for the disgusting acts that they did against children. Yes, Ben Shapiro, we do care about this. A lot of people care about this. Little Ben Shapiro went on his show and said that we don't care. You're wrong. But anyway, he acted like it wasn't important. Also, Trump acted like he wasn't important. Also, Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt was questioned. And she pulled a move right out of the Democratic playbook and diverted to talking about something else and changing the topic. Take a listen.
Caroline, okay, so the FBI looks at the circumstances surrounding the death of Jeffrey Epstein. According to the report, this systematic review revealed no incriminating client list. So what happened to the Epstein client list that the Attorney General said she had on her desk?
Well, I think if you go back and look at what the Attorney General said in that interview, which was on your network, on Fox News.
Got the quote.
Go ahead.
John Roberts said, DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen? And she said, it's sitting on my desk right now to review.
Yes, she was saying the entirety of all of the paperwork, all of the paper in relation to Jeffrey Epstein's crimes. That's what the Attorney General was referring to, and I'll let her speak for that. But again, when it comes to the FBI and the Department of Justice, they are more than committed to ensuring that bad people are put behind bars. They have an operation going on right now called Summer Heat, which has our murder rate trending in the lowest direction in United States history. Their emphasis on violent crime and locking up violent criminals has led to the arrest of 14,000 violent criminals. That's a 62% increase from the same time period last year. So this Attorney General and the FBI Director are committed to putting bad people behind bars where they belong. They promised an exhaustive review. That's what they did. For any further details, I would refer you to the Department of Justice.
They did, however, present us with one piece of evidence, and that was video from the jail. Take a look at the video. Okay, that is one. First of all, the first issue with that video is there is 1 whole minute missing. If you notice on the timestamp, it goes from 11:58:59 to 12. So the entire 11:59 minute is missing. It's gone. A lot can be done in a minute if things are planned out properly. The second thing, and this was Benny Johnson brought up, that is not even the right camera angle. How dumb does our government think we are? Take a listen to this video.
Now let's look at the screenshot from the video the DOJ shared. So you can see here that the officer would have been able to see Epstein's cell door and cell block. So when they say the officers fell asleep, they said that for a reason. They knew that the officers that were stationed there would be able to look directly at Epstein's door. They needed an alibi because something bad happened. You immediately notice that whatever this is not the cell block that Epstein was in. Those are not cell doors. In fact, this 10 minutes into the video, a person just comes out of one of those doors with a trash bin and places it in the middle of the floor. So if it's not a cell block, what is this? The space that we're looking at is the common space near the elevator's staircase. I've marked it myself on the diagram below. The red dot is the position where the cameras are. The DOJ released video was recorded. This is the opposite of the officer's station, and in no way could have seen Epstein's cell block, let alone Epstein's cell. Even the one piece of evidence that they released is a lie. They said, here's Epstein's cell door. It's not. The way you can confirm this is the space marked on the schematics and the angle and the shape of the floor that matches the angles that we see in the doors in the video. The door is marked 46. That leads to the main entrance. This is the exit for the entire tier. So if we go once more to the DOJ footage, you can see that the officer station at the far end. When you zoom in, you see some teeth on the side. You can see them right there. Those teeth are the staircase up to Jeffrey Epstein's cell. You see them right there on the far right-hand side. Guys, is Tom ready? Is Tom set? Okay, great. Okay, we'll move very quickly here. The only thing that we can remotely see in the direction of Epstein's cell block is this silver staircase. You can go up and down the staircase without being seen by the camera. Anyone could have entered Epstein's cell, even in the footage. Now, this is important. Gate 46 is the only way in or out of the SHU cell block floor. Okay, got it. So this is the full entry to the floor. We have 11 hours footage throughout the night with that one missing minute. So you must prove that nobody entered or exited the floor, right? But the obvious question is, how do we know that someone wasn't there beforehand? How do we know someone wasn't in before the DOJ video started? By all measures, you could have stayed in Epstein's cell block. You could have actually not been seen by the camera or the guard if you were just hidden inside of the utility closet or the crawl space. Right there, there's Epstein's door, and there is a unlocked security closet. And there is the broken camera. So of course we have no footage of what actually happened. We have no footage of Epstein's door. It's all a lie, and the footage that we're seeing is the entirety of the cell block. Anyone could have entered Epstein's actual tier. And that's the one piece of evidence we got with zero explanation, and I cannot emphasize enough what an insult that is. Ladies and gentlemen, joining us.
So, the video was of a completely different cell or janitor closet, not Epstein's cell. Here's a picture of Epstein's cell from an article that I found. So, I hope that Trump is using this as blackmail and leverage to further his agenda. However, with the previous, the things I talked about in the previous video about Pam Bondi and Kash Patel, I don't know. Time will tell. But I am very pissed off. I am very frustrated. I am very angry that this is how things are going. Oh, but we're not done. Trump, transition topics here to Ukraine. Trump promised that he would end the Russia-Ukraine war within 24 hours. Take a listen.
I'll end that war between those two countries in 24 hours
It won't even take that long. I'll have this thing settled in 24 hours. I will end that war in one day. It'll take 24 hours.
You could end this Ukrainian-Russia war in 24 hours.
Yeah. I would fix that within 24 hours. And if I win, before I get into the office, I will have that war settled. 100% sure. Before I even arrive at the Oval Office, I will have the disastrous war between Russia and Ukraine settled. I will have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine totally settled. I'll have it done in 24 hours. And I'll have that done in 24 hours. I'll have it done. I believe I could settle that thing in 24 hours. I will get it settled before I even become president, and it will take me no longer than one day.
Well, unfortunately, breaking this week, Trump is sending more weapons to that sleazebag, that piece of crap, Zelensky.
Are you planning to send more weapons to Ukraine?
We're going to send some more weapons. We have to. They have to be able to defend themselves. They're getting hit very hard now. They're getting hit very hard. We're going to have to send more weapons. Yeah, defensive weapons primarily, but they're getting hit very, very hard. Very sad. So many people are dying in that mess.
So far we got no new wars. That turned into a lie. He bombed Iran. We've got this big letdown with Jeffrey Epstein. We've got Pam Bondi and Kash Patel being compromised and being absolute crap. And then, of course, we have not ending the Russia-Ukraine war, but instead feeding into it by sending weapons. Another thing, Trump is back to supporting Rhino Lindsey Graham. And I just gotta say, I predicted all of this. I knew we would never see the Epstein list, as Kash Patel and Pam Bondi are both compromised, if not the entire administration at this point. I think Trump, theory here now, he possibly could have sold his soul. He sold his soul to the devil. He is now a member of the deep state that in 2016, he said he would get rid of the deep state. Well, now he's a member. Maybe he made a deal after they tried to kill him and take his head off in broad daylight in Butler. I'm disappointed. I'm heartbroken. I'm shattered. We fought for this guy for 10 years. Or for the last... since 2016 is now almost 2026. So yeah, it's about 10 years. And we fought for him because he was our last hope. Well, he is also a part of the swamp, the deep state, the system. So he turned his back on his voters, and I guess he wants to make that his legacy. But we will have to see how this Epstein stuff plays out. I really hope that I'm wrong about all of this, and we get a good 3.5 years after a rocky couple of months to start Trump's second term. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and follow my other accounts. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, X, Instagram, YouTube, Threads, TikTok, Rumble, Telegram, and Truth Social. Thank you. God bless. Have a nice day.